Walking my dogs across this field in Cheshire. It's a beautiful day. There is a bit of a bypass just over this behind me here, so there might be a bit of traffic noise, but that aside, it's fantastic, and it's a very typical Cheshire field. I mean, actually, it's very flat. It's not the plains, you know, it's not the Midwest. You can't see for miles. It's not big sky country, but it is flat. And I suppose what it really brings to mind, and one of the reasons why, I guess it's one of the reasons why I keep thinking about the things I'm thinking about, is it really foregrounds the kind of grounded nature of human being, and I guess all planet-bound being itself, really. You know, how the kind of physics of the cosmos, things like gravity, and the way that matter collates together into, you know, quite large objects called planets, and the way they operate in relation to stars, and then the way that middle-sized objects like people function on those planets, basically walking around in this fairly odd way on the surface of these planets, with you know, it's a straight line always being described from the centre of that planet right up through the body. So there isn't a straight line running from the centre of the Earth up through your body falling over. So there's something quite specific about that. What I was doing a couple of minutes ago, I'm a bit embarrassed showing this, but the grass is not very wet, so it's nice actually. If you get right down, so you get like where an ant or something like that could be. It just kind of reminds. Oh, please, my dog. It just kind of, sorry, please. It just kind of reminds you that how earthbound we are, really. How close to the stuff of the world we are, and that must have a huge impact on the way that we're put together. Not just physically. Obviously, our physical bodies are completely built around the idea of having to operate on a planet that's got gravity in it, and a cosmos that's got the various laws it's got in it. You know, our joints are built to, the musculature around our joints is built to resist gravity. We don't have great muscles pulling our arms down the whole time. We just don't need them. And you know, and the balance mechanisms in our ears, and the proprioceptive mechanisms in our joints, and all the rest of that stuff is all geared to the kind of planet-bound lifestyle we have, and the cosmological environment in which that planet exists. And I presume that's also the case for our mental life as well, although that would be so transparent to us. I think it'd be hard to get a proper bead on that, although that's certainly something I'm really interested in. I'm sure the shape of our thought also follows, broadly speaking, the shape of the cosmos we seem to have found ourselves emergent within. The other thing to see on these films is these fantastic swallows in this field, just dipping around trying to catch all the daddy longlegs are around at the moment. Just gorgeous. But anyway, I'm just wondering what it would be like if it was different. If the cosmos was I know the cosmos can't be different. I know I've read all that statistics that if anything was out by 1 in 20 zeros or something like that, any of the various constants that keep the cosmos running was changed, then there would be no life. Yada yada yada. I know all that. But just for the sake of it, really, I think it would be interesting to think what a different kind of cosmos would be like. I mean, you know, kind of imagine the laws would be different. It would be coherent, and it would support life somehow, just completely different. So I'm kind of imagining a cosmos which was, well, first off, it's full of air, and I think in medieval times, I guess, I think people did think the cosmos, to the extent there was a cosmos, was full of air. I guess they would have no experience of moving out into the interstellar vacuum, so there's no reason to suppose it isn't full of air up there. Let's imagine a cosmos that is just completely full of breathable air. And then let's imagine on that cosmos, instead of being these huge planets, these huge gravity-bound planets, or gravity-constructed planets, there's just kind of lumps of stuff, maybe about the size of a basketball, maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe the size of one of those balls you do Pilates on, and those kind of weird things. My wife's got one of those at home, that's why I'm thinking about that. About this big. So this cosmos, it's just got millions of Pilates ball-sized objects floating in it, in air. I don't know why they're floating. There's nothing pulling them together. There's no gravity pulling these objects together to make them collate. But they are capable of having some kind of life grow on them. Actually, not even grow on them, because the gravity wouldn't need that. Just life just kind of grows in and of them and around them. And we as humans, or whatever we are, we're some kind of weird life form that lives in this space. We have some means of propulsion. Obviously it's not walking because there's no gravity. We have some weird means of propulsion, perhaps a bit like swimming in the air. Yeah, we can interact with these big Pilates ball-sized objects, and we can interact with each other, and we can move through this strange air-filled space. But we wouldn't have the orientation, we wouldn't have the need for the bodies we have now. We wouldn't have this kind of verticality. We wouldn't need that. We'd probably be shaped like Pilates balls ourselves, actually. I imagine that would be a useful shape to have. It'd be quite a nice shape to have. And we probably wouldn't need the kind of limbs we have. There'd be no need for... I mean, hands would be certainly useful, particularly if we had quite a few of them, but not just two. But certainly feet would be no use at all, because there's nothing to walk on. So we'd need some kind of propulsion system somewhere, and then a whole bunch of hands, and then some kind of sensory mechanism which allows us to tell us where we are in this space, like a few eyes scattered around at different points, like craters on the moon around this ball-shaped object. That would be great. I can't imagine what the mental life of an object like that would be. Certainly all of the stuff that we talk about, all of the metaphors to do with feeling down in the dumps or feeling high as a kite would be meaningless. All of the language to do with hierarchies would be meaningless. The language to do with gravity and weight would be meaningless, because weight is a function of gravity. So there'd be, I mean, any metaphor to do with weight or gravity or levity or falling or rising, all those would be meaningless. Yeah, it just had to be a completely different architecture for all of our thought.